Fighting games have always had broken attacks, and they likely always will to some extent, and some say that's part of the charm, while others say it's completely unfair and irritating. Mortal Kombat is no exception to these overpowered attacks, so today I wanted to discuss the craziest one I can think of. Sure, Cyrax's bombs are scary in Mortal Kombat 9, but only when combined with his net, and Sonya's leg grab was beyond unfair in MK1, but it relied on a counter-hit glitch to get started, whereas today's attack has none of those shortcomings, and I can't wait to talk about it. Alright, so today we're talking about Dairu, perhaps one of the most boring looking characters in the entire series. Deception is not very beloved for its new characters. The game itself is fine, it's just the new characters are pretty bland and uninteresting. The only exception being Havoc. Everyone loves Havoc. Alright, but let's talk about Dairu. What attack does this man have that is so unfair that I made an entire video about it? Well, its name is the Tombstone Drop, and its input is absolutely stupid. It's forward, back, down, and then square. I know that most of you watching play fighting games because you're cool like that, and as a result I'm sure you know that most special moves are just two inputs, like down back, or back forward, or down forward, things of that nature. Even down up sometimes can be a special move. But Tombstone Drop just had to be different, so it's three inputs, forward, back, down, square. And I think that was done to make this move a bit more fair, but it doesn't do very much at all, because anybody with game experience can do an input really quickly, regardless of the input itself. I mean, for Pete's sake, Ivy and Soul Calibur has this, and people can still do it instantly, so note to all developers, making a move hard to do does not make it any slower, or at least not for anybody who takes the game seriously and actually wants to get better at it. But I digress. Why is this move so overpowered? Well, we're gonna start from the beginning and then just keep cranking it up, because there are so many things about this move that make it ridiculously unfair. So for starters, it's unblockable. Yeah, do you all recall Shiva's unblockable in Mortal Kombat 11 and how it tormented basically every player in the world as long as the Shiva player knew how to use it correctly? Keep in mind how annoying that move was for most players and how it at least had startup to it. This move does not. Dairu does not hop into the air to do this move. It's just instant, right away, boom, unblockable, and it covers the entire screen. There's no range on this thing. Baraka can't sidestep this move. He can't backdash and forward dash out of the way like you can against Shiva's Stomp. No, this move covers the entire floor, literally the entire stage. Literally, the only way Baraka can avoid this move is to jump, either forward or backwards. That's the only way to avoid this move. Once again, it covers the entire floor and the block button does nothing. So already that's pretty crazy, and certainly much stronger than Shiva's Stomp, but don't worry, it gets worse. This move also starts combos. Like straight up, you can uppercut or do whatever you want after this thing. I'm gonna go ahead and switch into sword stance and then do a short combo. And look at all this damage we get. We get 33% and a hard knockdown that started with an unblockable that covers the entire floor. And make no mistake, I am certain you can get more damage than that. I'm just doing a baby combo to show you how damaging this unblockable can be even with very minimal effort. And don't worry, the combo will still work from full screen. I'm gonna get as far away as possible, and check this out. I can walk forward and still connect with the combo. It does not matter where I land the Tombstone Drop. If it lands, I can get a full combo. How insane is that? As you can see, this unblockable is nuts. It can start combos and covers the entire floor, but we're not even close to done. This move can also dodge projectiles due to its animation. Dairu falls backwards and pretty much does the Matrix to avoid projectiles. And as a result, you can't throw anything at this guy. Now, to be fair, this is Deception. You can sidestep most projectiles, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's just one more thing that makes his unblockable ridiculous. You can't even throw stuff at him. And as a result, you might think that Dairu doesn't have a projectile, but no, he totally does. He still has his own projectile, despite the fact that he can Matrix under any other projectiles in the game. He can zone you, but you can't zone him. In fact, Dairu also has a teleport, and it's a very unique teleport. He switches sides with the opponent, which is already interesting enough. They completely switch places, but look at Baraka's animation. He's facing the wrong way, and he's looking around for a little bit. Yeah, this move actually stuns the opponent for a brief period, which means if your timing is on point, you can guarantee the Tombstone Drop off of this teleport, which is absolutely insane. I said before, this move is broken all by itself, but that does not mean you can't combine it with other special moves. You absolutely can, and the teleport is the best example. I never practice the timing, I'm not good at it, but rest assured, you can teleport into guaranteed Tombstone Drop if you want to. And like mentioned earlier, that Tombstone Drop leads to a full combo that at the very least is going to do about a third of your health bar. It's like 33% damage casually. And just in case any of you watching never played Deception or even Deadly Alliance, any of the 3D Mortal Kombat games, special moves can be done in any stance. Every character has multiple stances, usually 3, immediately unless you choose to get rid of your weapon, which is an option in some games. But the main idea is, no matter what stance I'm in, whichever stance I prefer, I always have access to the Tombstone Drop, and I always have access to the teleport, which can also guarantee my Tombstone Drop. So in every single stance, this guy's deadly. Alright, but here's the thing. Nothing I've told you up until now holds a candle to this next ridiculous aspect of this special move. Everything up until now was fun in games, and now it's time for the most ridiculous part of this move. Tombstone Drop is already unfair, that can't be denied, but this one aspect of the move is what makes it downright broken, and in my opinion pushes it to the most unfair move in Mortal Kombat history. This move starts up in 3 frames. Now maybe you're not a huge fighting game nerd like me, so allow me to explain. Anything under 16 frames in fighting games is considered unreactable, as in if you do anything 15 frames or faster, the human eye cannot react to it in time. And as a result, in the fighting game community, we call moves like that unseeable or unreactable, depending on what country you're from. Anything under 16 frames is considered unreactable to most. Now some players have better reaction time and can maybe react to 12 frames, maybe 10 frames if you're a god, but I seriously doubt it. In fact, most of you watching and even myself can't react to 16 frames most of the time due to the mix-ups happening and the stress of the match, or maybe you're trying to do your own stuff, so you're not just purely reacting, and as a result, you can't even do 16 frames. But my point is, anything under 16 frames is considered unreactable. This move is 3. Not only is it unreactable to the human eye, there's no way you could ever see this move coming. You have to jump in advance before he even does the move. However, even jumping does not guarantee avoiding this move, because guess what? Jumps aren't instant in this game. You don't leave the ground on frame 1. It takes a couple of frames, which means this move is pretty much guaranteed. If you're not already in the air before he does the move, it's guaranteed 100% of the time. And that right there is the most broken aspect of this move. Its startup speed. 3 frames is absolutely ridiculous, because keep in mind, most people were not playing locally. This game had online, so there is lag. There's input delay on your controller. When you press a button, it doesn't happen right away. The game tries, but it's not on frame 1. So even if you jump right on the spot of this move, it doesn't matter. Even if you programmed Dyro to do the Tombstone Drop right when you jump, he would still win, because there's input delay, and there's also a delay on your jump. It's not frame 1, so even if the jump and this move happen at the exact same time, it doesn't matter. The one thing that beats this move is a jump, and even it will lose if done at the same time as this move. So once again, the only way to avoid this move at all is to already be in the air. You have to know it's coming and then jump preemptively, but be careful and certainly don't jump at him, because if you do, he can catch you with an uppercut. And in fact, if you're wrong and jump for no reason, even if you jump backwards, he can just do his Tombstone Drop after when you land. And once again, you can't jump immediately after you land, so it's a guaranteed Tombstone Drop if he times it correctly. And don't forget, this move guarantees combos no matter where you are on screen, because you can walk forward and guarantee that you get a hit in any single stance. So yeah, it's full screen, unblockable, and it leads to a combo every single time. So don't jump preemptively unless you know it's coming, because if you're wrong, he can still catch you when you land. Yes, this character is absolutely broken. Now thankfully, in some versions of the game on certain consoles, this move did get nerfed, but it's still absurdly ridiculous, especially online. It's still unfair and broken. But now finally, there's one more thing I wanted to mention, and I learned about it on Ketchup and Mustard's channel, so shoutouts to them for making myself and everybody else who watches their channel that much smarter. As it turns out, in this game, if you're juggling Dyro or any character while they're in the air and they do a combo breaker, it knocks you on your back. And when you're on your back, guess what he can do? This. And it's guaranteed. Yeah, he just gets the ground slam when you're on your back. Now, I'm not sure if that's in Deception. That could only be in Armageddon. I'll be honest, I'm a bit fuzzy on this fact. I've done the least research on it, but I do know in at least one of the games that Dyro's in, he can guarantee this Tombstone Drop after he breaks your combo, as long as he's the one in the air when you're hitting him. So for an example, just pretend that Baraka is Dyro, okay, and I'm Baraka. I'm comboing him on the ground. Combo breaker's not a big deal. It's just gonna knock me back. However, if I launch the opponent into the air and then start comboing him, Dyro can combo break me, knock me on my back, and then when he lands, he can do an instant Tombstone Drop and get a combo. I'm messing up for some reason. There we go. You get the idea. That ground slam is guaranteed after a combo breaker in certain situations. And Dyro's not the only character who can do it. Any character with a ground slam can do this, but Dyro's Tombstone Drop is just ridiculous for all the reasons I've already mentioned. So there you have it, everyone. Tombstone Drop, in my opinion, for every reason mentioned so far, is the most broken attack in Mortal Kombat history. It's extremely good good all by itself, but can also be combined with other special moves to be that much more broken. But hey, maybe I'm wrong, so please mention any attacks that you think are more broken in the comment section down below, and I'd love to read about them. And then while you're down there, please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. It really does help my channel out a ton, and then finish that combo by subscribing and ringing that bell. That way you never miss a future video. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.